why is it important, for professionals in the IT field to obtain a cybersecurity certification? Which is like, how do really employers value cybersecurity certificates compared to other qualification or degrees? I mean, to clarify the just more here, I can say like, maybe right now, maybe this is how some people see it. Okay, we don't need someone who has a bachelor or master degree or even engineering degree if he has a certificate. How much this is really true? Like, the point when they, some people ask me like, are people hiring in cybersecurity? Are they really taking into consideration the value of those free certificates? I can say, what is the particularity, in OCP certification if we compare them to I can say like the other ones? Because really I'm seeing that, I'm really seeing that like offensive security certification are really high valued. I mean, people really, go through that and they really start fighting it. Welcome everyone in a new Cyber Corner podcast with a super amazing guest. And literally, today we're going to talk about a super interesting topic too. So first of all, I want to welcome with me Kharim Machatta. And he's a cybersecurity expert and a CEO. Also, he's a fabulous content YouTube creator. He's creating an amazing content on his YouTube. Later I'm going to put the link of his channel. And welcome, Kharim. I hope you're doing well. And I hope just you're going to introduce more yourself for the audience and what you're doing in the cybersecurity world, and all those kind of stuff.
Thank you very much for the brief introduction. As you mentioned, my name is Kharim Machatta. I am a CEO and cybersecurity expert at an organization called HACK IT Consultancy. It's a startup here in Tanzania. So over the years, I've been doing a lot of things in the industry, including content creation. I'm an author of 5 cybersecurity books. I have done consultation services for different organizations. Also, I was privileged to help in the curriculum building of one of the institutions here in Tanzania, the perspective of cybersecurity. Apart from that, I have been doing very intensive trainings for both technical and non-technical individuals. So as you can see, my experience is very extensive, and I hope a lot of your viewers are going to learn from me. Even if it's one thing, but it's going to be worth it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this introduction. And by the way, I've been, looking to your amazing work, and you're super active and literally a fabulous background, which is really meet, the expectation of our conversation today about the certification and cybersecurity certifications. Well, to be honest, I got a lot of demand on this topic, and, even some of the audience, they are saying to me right now, we are not feeling, some people, they are not feeling lost. I mean, about getting into cybersecurity anymore, but they are feeling kind of lost of, selecting the convenient certifications. So that's why, the talk of our podcast today and our episode is going to be about, certifications, the different concepts, and it's totally going to clarify the vision for many people. So, I mean, starting, with, I can say, the basic question, which is why is it important, for professionals in the IT field to obtain a cybersecurity certifications? I mean, because this is how sometimes the people think. They're going to be like, okay, I can say I'm feeling like I'm comfortable, in my work. I can say the required skills, but it's really, I need certification to validate those skills. Is it a key point for me? Yeah, this is the question that I really get a lot.
Well, certifications generally are very important, simply because, so let me just put it in different perspectives. So number one, for the guys who are trying to land a cybersecurity job, it's going to be a gateway for them to get into the industry itself. But also it's going to give them a competitive advantage compared to other candidates, because not a lot of people are able to do certification depending on the background and the understanding of the industry itself. So these are very important papers to have, apart from your formal education, which is your degree and your master's or your PhD, because it also proves your competency in the industry. it shows or demonstrates your understanding of basic concepts of cybersecurity. Because I've been in both spaces as a student and as an employer. So as a student perspective, or it demonstrates your skills, but as an employer perspective, it shows me that apart from your formal education, you are able to adapt and understand the current concepts that are on the industry. So those are the advantages of having certifications.
I got it. And so sometimes, I can say, we find many people sometimes, they are talking about their experience in getting a job, just, through a certification or through making a boot camp. Right. So maybe I can say this is actually coming for the next question, which is how do really employers value cybersecurity certificates compared to other qualification or degrees? I mean, to clarify the vision more here, I can say maybe right now, maybe this is how some people see it. Okay, we don't need someone who has a bachelor or master degree or even engineering degree if he has a certificate, how much this is really true, or exactly how really employers value that, in selecting the candidates.
So there's no right or wrong answer when it comes to certifications. Let me just put that out there. Simply because there are some organizations which don't care about your certification, they don't care about your degree, they just care about your technical skills. Mm-hmm. So there are those organizations which value more skills instead of your formal education and your certifications. And now on the other bit, there are those organizations which prefer candidates to have certifications compared to your bachelor's degree or master's. So it all depends with the organization and what they value. But to be honest, certifications are very important. As I said before, it's a gateway for you to get into the organization itself, or to get the first step into the interview. Because different employers have different perspective in terms of security. So as I said initially, certifications, they help us to see clearly that this individual that you're trying to hire has a good understanding of different concepts in security. So, for example, the CIA triad, they know all about VPNs, how to protect yourself, two-factor authentication, etc. So all these concepts, because it doesn't make sense for you to know how to do things, but you don't know how to explain them. Mm-hmm. So there's a need of having a balance between the two, the technical skills, but also being able to explain what you do.
Exactly.
So I remember in the industry, they say that if you cannot explain a concept to a 2-year-old and make them understand, then you yourself haven't understood the concept itself. Exactly. So you see, there's always a need of that balance between the technical and the theoretical concepts and skills.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I really face some of those cases too, when we find sometimes, I can say it happens with some engineers, they're fabulous about technical skills, but when it comes to explain the technical stuff to the clients, it doesn't work well. So yeah, I mean, it's something that really we have to work on sometimes. And even this is related to the soft skill, even, on the background of the engineer. Exactly.
Yeah. Because it's usually a problem. For example, for us technical guys, it's very easy, especially as a consultant, it's very easy to go and talk to the head of IT and explain to them, okay, this is what we found. We found a vulnerability, and this is how we need to patch it. But how do you explain the same concept to the decision makers in organizations? So when I say decision makers, I mean the CTOs, the CEOs, the guys who are on the board. So as you say, we need the soft skills. We need to know how to explain concepts in ways which the decision makers can understand. So this is the biggest problem that we have in all these technical industries, not only cybersecurity, but also engineering.
Exactly.
We all have this problem of explaining concepts in a way which, number one, makes sense to the business guys, and also it can add value to them.
Exactly. And yeah, right now, moving to a super interesting question, by the way. And I got a lot, from I can say my students, because here's the thing. So we know, in cybersecurity right now, okay, we are not even talking about those kind of, okay, let's say that cybersecurity certificates are a little bit expensive sometimes. So I can say that's why, some platforms, they offer, a free certificates and the free courses.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So many students, they are selecting to do some, kind of like free, certificates, and because some of them, they can't really afford that huge amount, and, I can say like the price of the certificates. But, okay, they're giving them, I can say, like a really, really, good content, because we know, like in industry, there's like a lot of amazing free courses and they are really amazing, but they're really still free. And, and this is like, the point when some people ask me like, are people hiring in a cybersecurity, are they really taking into consideration the value of those free certificates? Because sometimes this is what I found. They're going to be like, okay, if I'm hiring in cybersecurity, I'm going to just check your CV. Maybe I'm doing like that, and I'm going to just focus only on the international certificates, Yeah, exactly. So it's really like free certification are really considerate by the people hiring in cybersecurity.
Yeah. So, okay, I get the concern, especially when it comes to all this certification, because we need to understand that in cybersecurity or any of, let me say, industry, there's always going to be those recognized certifications. For example, if you go to accounting, they have CPA. Exactly. So if you do something different from CPA, doesn't it add value to your CV? Well, it does add value. But the only thing that I can say is, yes, as recruiters or people who hire for cybersecurity experts, they do value free certifications. But the difference or which comes along the way is, where did you get the certification? Mm-hmm. That's the most important thing. For example, I myself, back in 2019, I think, that's when COVID had broken out. Yeah. A lot of businesses were really struggling. So this led to a lot of certification organizations offering their certificates for free. Mm-hmm. So I jumped into the bandwagon and did those certifications, and I managed to get them. So that, right now, for example, I had received a free certification from BIC Council, which is certified in HACK. It will still hold the same value as today, because it's from a recognized institution. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of institutions, even currently, which are kind of sometimes offering free certifications. For example, Autopsy, they do offer free certification. Another organization is ISC 2 Squared. Yeah. They do offer certification. SANS, once in a while, they do offer that. So those are the type of certifications that you feel people should be looking out for. Even Cisco themselves. Yeah. Even I had seen, or I had done rather, one certification from the U.S. Department of Defense. Yeah. So it's all about looking for these prestigious institutions, and once you present them to recruiters, they'll be like, okay, this is something that we are willing to accommodate. At least they got the, etc. And then the other thing is to make sure that the content that are being provided are high value. Mm-hmm. Because it doesn't make sense for you to just go and do free certification because it's free when the contents are not of high quality. Exactly. That doesn't make sense. Yeah. So there needs to be of those two things. Number one, the institution, which is usually able to certification from. And then number two, the quality of the content. Is it relevant to what's going on? What all advice for the candidates? Yeah, it's totally like it's a super clear answer. And like right now you've talked about it's the CEH, for example, and coming from like I can say the beginners. I mean, like there are like those kind of I can say those certificates, they are dedicated to entry level. And like imagining like right now I want just to invest for myself and in my skills. And when it comes to entry level certifications, we found a lot of them. So I mean, like I can say like depend on you. If you can name like 3 certificates for entry levels and the 3 certificates for, I can say, advanced level. Okay. Like I said, an experience of a 2 year, maybe. Okay. When coming to advanced. So
which one you feel like they're really good in the industry and they really like it exists a lot of demand on them, depending on your.
Okay. Yeah. So one thing that I tend to avoid is to advise a lot of people in terms of certifications. Reason behind I tend to avoid that is because this is how I do certifications. If I tell you today, go and do, let's say, CH, CompTIA Plus, and I did several other certifications, people are just going to go for that.
Mm-hmm.
But the most important thing is, before I start listing the certification, is number one, you need to understand your personal roadmap. Where do you want to go? So if you want to be an offensive security expert, then there are certifications that are related to that specific line that you're trying to do. So in simple terms, what I usually tell people is it doesn't make sense for you as an individual. You want to be a pilot of a Boeing 747 and then you go and do a certification for an Airbus.
Exactly.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So while I'm listing all these certifications, I think people should have all this at the back of their mind without just going and doing the certifications blind.
Yeah.
Because if you want to become let's say an offensive security expert, don't go and do certifications related to digital forensics.
Exactly.
Like, they don't align.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, coming to the certifications themselves. So number one, I think the best security certification to start as a beginner is the CompTIA Security Plus.
Mm-hmm.
That one is basically a certification for everybody. It's very broad. Mm-hmm. It covers a lot of concepts, and it's very simple for people to grasp different type of technical terminologies and what is needed in the industry. And then after that, I can go to CH. CH is another great skill, but the CH is very specific for offensive security individuals. Mm-hmm. And then after that, there's CND, it's a Certified Network Defender. It's also offered by BIC Council. That one is also tailored for, let me say, for the offensive guys, mm-hmm. but they need to understand the concepts of network. Yeah. Because everything that we do all underlies on the layer of the network. Mm-hmm. So the applications, the communications, etc., everything, the baseline is on the network. So it's very important to understand the networks. And then after that, I think once you're a little bit more confident, you can go for HACK. Mm-hmm. So those ones are for the beginners.
That's good.
Now, when we go for people who are a little bit more experienced, so the medium level and advanced, I think the best certification that you can go for is OCP.
OCP, exactly. And yeah, I mean, like OCP, kind of like, I can say super famous one, for the people who really has that experience. Exactly. So yeah, and if you can really specify right now, I can say what is the particularity, in OCP certification, if we compare them to I can say like the other ones, because really I'm seeing that, I'm really seeing that like offensive security certification are really high valued. I mean, people really, go through that and they really start fighting it. So, I mean, like how you can see OCP compared to other ones, or I can say even like offensive security certifications.
Yeah. So let me just put it out there. All certifications are great, mm-hmm. but I think the only, let me say, niche that OCP has is, or the niche that OCP are tapped into is in the perspective of the practicality of their certifications. Mm-hmm. When I say practicality, I mean the hands-on experience that you get, because OCP, it's purely hands-on experience.
Yeah.
So the beauty of OCP is, number one, you get the hands-on experience, but number two, you need to write the technical report.
Exactly.
And then out of it, they give you your certificate, either you passed or failed. So from these two perspectives, that's when OSP started gaining its reputation in the industry. Because previously, if you remember, it was CEH. All organizations were asking for CEH.
Exactly.
But later on, they moved from CEH. Nowadays, a lot of people are asking for OSCP or EJBT because of the practical aspects that they have. And whenever you think the examination is more hands-on examination, rather than true, false, ABC, you just, get your answers.
Now, to, I can say the organization, And what I find that, a lot of organizations, they want really to invest, in the people that they're working with them, and specifically the engineers. So what I find that, like, I can say there's like two main types, one of them, I can say, who are really go to the engineers and asking them that question, certificates you are interested in. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or we find that, another types that they are, I can say, they make the same certificates to all the engineers that work with them. So here I can say, what is the advice? And since you're a CEO and you have that really experience, what are the advice that you give it to the organization that really want to invest in their engineers to select, I can say, the competent certificates that meets the skills of the people that are working with them?
Yeah. I think there are different perspective and different approach. There's no right or wrong approach. They're all okay. But for me, my personal preference will be, number one, do a proper research on the institution that you are trying to get the certificate from.
Exactly.
Is it a reputable organization? Is it recognized on the security industry? Because it doesn't make sense for you to give certifications to your engineers, and at the end of the day, the certifications are not valued in the industry. So there is need to be done that type of research. And then secondly is to go and ask other organizations about a certain certification which they prefer. And then at the end of the day, once you've collected all this information, you select the type of certification that you think your engineer, say cybersecurity, forensic investigators, then you're going to go for the ones that are highly, highly recommended. And then after that, you start investing in them. And then finally, you could also be doing, let me say, internal trainings where you hire well-recognized industrial professionals to come as a consultant to train your employees. So you will go for guys like, let's say, John Hammond, IPSEC, etc., to come to the best in your organization, employees, and give them a different perspective of how things are, supposed to be done.
I think this is even make them feel motivated, come even to the motivation perspective. Yeah, they just make them motivated to give their best, So, dear Karim, I want to really thank you for your extensive time and totally, you have an amazing background, by the way, and thank you so much for sharing all that knowledge. So yeah, I mean, here, it's a free space. Okay. Please, if you want to pass any specific message for the learners, for the professionals, anything related to cybersecurity, just feel free.
Well, I have a lot of, encouraging words and motivational words that I would like to put out there. But let me just try to make it as, short and brief as possible. So number one, I think the most important thing is don't get into cybersecurity because of money. I think there's a huge misconception that once you get into cybersecurity, there's a lot of money. Well, it's not a lie. It's true. But if that's your only motivation, then definitely you're going to get to a point after, I'd say, a maximum of 1 year, you're going to give up because the industry itself is not good.
Exactly.
Number two, never give up. That's the most important thing. You're definitely going to face challenges along the way. You're definitely going to face burnouts at one point in your life. You're definitely going to face imposter syndrome along the way, but don't give up. You always have to keep on going and never look back. Just look at what you're doing. And then number three, a lot of people who are getting started into cybersecurity, they need to get mentors, guys who are going to guide them. It's very important. I can't stress on that.
Yeah.
Even I myself, up to date with all the experience that I have in different areas where I feel that I'm weak at, I have a mentor to guide me along the way.
Yeah.
So like in cybersecurity, I have a mentor who is guiding me and giving me good advice. And the mentor that you're supposed to pick is a person who has already made it on the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
So that they can help you navigate the different waters in the industry and different challenges. So getting a mentor, it's very important. Another thing is joining different communities around the world. For example, I myself am in different types of communities, interacting with different types of people, and I'm benefiting from them. And then finally, be humble enough to learn from others and don't be scared to mention what you're not good at. because my principle is each person that you meet knows something that you don't know.
Exactly.
So if you pretend you know everything, then definitely you won't learn anything. So you better be humble. Even up to today, I call myself as 15. And a lot of people will be like, hey, I mean, you're lying, you've done this. Still, I have a lot of the things to learn in the industry. So I think those are the most important advice I give to guys who are started into cybersecurity or they're pursuing cybersecurity as they're trying to grow.
Kharim, thank you so much for your words. I think this is literally going to encourage a lot of our audience. And again, I want just like literally to have you again. You know, it's totally free space. You're most welcome to share your amazing knowledge. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope literally to see you again.